Well, hello YouTube and Facebook ham radio chums. Steve G3ZPS here. Vintage ham radio equipment refurbishment and restoration. There's one video I think on YouTube by the radio workshop with the Codar AT5. This is a Codar AT5 transmitter. There's two of them here. I've got two of them. But the one that's on YouTube from the radio workshop, the transmitter's got no case. I don't even think it's got a front panel. The controls are just hanging there. So I've decided to put a YouTube video up about this little Codar AM station. Codar, an English company in the 60s, made simple receivers. I think this was the only transmitter they ever made, really cashing in on the UK top band craze, making fairly cheap little AM transmitters and small enough to operate mobile. Loads of people did on their 60s cars with a big whip and a loading coil for top band mobile. So I've got two transmitters here. They're very simple, a sort of choke modulation arrangement, no power supply built in, so they're very lightweight, and this is how big they are with my hand on them. They made a big thing about the size, half the size of a magazine page or something that they were advertised in. This is quite rare. It's a Codar receiver based on Mullard modules, really broadcast modules for AM medium wave, but Codar took it and they used the module that you could move the local oscillator down. So that's single conversion, 455 kilohertz, very simple, no filter, just typical broadcast radio. Dreadful BFO, I don't use it, very unstable, but I've lined the receiver up as best I can. I've got the AC and the DC power supplies. This is the AC power supply for the transmitter. No muting for the receiver, no 12 volts for the receiver. I've got it running off a battery, this receiver. So all very basic stuff. Coax connectors, Belling-Lee everywhere. The transmitter didn't switch the loading coil for 80 meters, so you had to watch that you didn't find the second dip, which was top band, when you were on 80. It was just a doubler in the buffer of the transmitter, and then you retune the pi tank. There is a mod to put a switch in to short out part of the pi tank on 80 and get better power output. I've just had a contact on this, the first AM contact I've had on 80 for many years, with the guys on the VMARS guys, mainly on 3615, and they've just gone off. So I've been listening to them. They're on 3615. I don't think I've ever had a contact in all my 48 years of ham radio with a Codar transmitter and a Codar receiver. I didn't use another receiver. I called CQ on my 80 meter dipole, about 7 watts of AM, and a GW8TBG Mervyn, who's got a fantastic AM station, came back to me. So I won't bother trying to resolve the sideband. The BFO is awful. Oh, there we are. There's the
It's about in the noise really, and I don't usually have that much, so it's not an easy copy. The other stations on the frequency at the moment are GW8TBG Mervyn and G6TBJ Ian. So I'll pass it round to Mervyn and see if he can copy you. So over to you then, Mervyn. GW8TBG from GW0FZY.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Justin. GW8TBG. Yes, I can hear John. It's round about 5758 with me.
Well, I think you'll agree, no filter on AM sounds really good. It's just the the width of the IF transformers that would have been for AM broadcast on medium wave, and of course the bands were possibly a lot less crowded than they are now. So we're lucky this afternoon. It's a Wednesday afternoon. There's no sideband encroaching on 3615. And it really does sound quite good. So I nearly fell off my chair earlier when this guy Mervyn came back to my CQ call using one of these AT5s. They both seem to be almost identical, the same knobs, and using one of these crystal microphones. So there you go. That's the Codar AM station from the 60s. Pretty rare now. The receivers are quite rare. The transmitters are highly collectible. Fetch quite a high price. They are pretty basic. The components are pretty basic. I recapped the power supply and one of the capacitors fell off. The joints were completely the dry joints. There were dry joints that were quite frightening, really. But it's only a few hundred volts, so I've recapped the power supply, and it all works a treat. So there you go, Codar AM station from the 60s from G3 ZPS. Cheers.